when belonging is cut off, the pathway back is some way of being nurtured. Some way of either nurturing ourselves, being nurtured by someone else. When belonging is severed early on, we don't have access to our wholeness, but the severing is not irreversible. We're incredibly resilient beings, and neuroplasticity is the word that describes how when we then at any point in our life, through our relationships, and as we'll explore through meditation, begin that self-nurturing and nurturing with others, we can reawaken that intrinsic potential for belonging. There's a attachment psychologist whose name is Cozzolino, and he has a line that has very much impacted me. He says, "We're not the survival of the fittest, we're the survival of the nurtured." We're not the survival of the fittest, it's the survival of the nurtured. The fittest is, the survival brain, fight, flight, freeze, do it, control it. But it's the nurtured that actually experience that integrated brain and that sense of belonging and the love and freedom that come with that. So the remainder of our exploration together will be, well, when there's been severed belonging, how do we nurture and heal? And unless we're free, unless we're feeling that oneness and communion with the universe or the divine, there's some severed belonging. We're not fully connected. So we all need nurturing. Every day we need it. Okay, a story for you, and this is from Rachel Naomi Remen, one of my favorites, who's a physician and a very wise woman. And she describes a colleague who's the head of the Department of Family Medicine at a great East Coast school, and describes how this doctor had a patient, a homeless woman, and her possessions all fit in a shopping cart, or 2 shopping carts, and once a month she'd climb this hill and lash her carts to the different meters to get up to his clinic, and he'd see her once a month. And her speech was a little rambling, and her clothes were dirty and eccentric, but he's this very kind, respectful man. He wasn't troubled by any of the appearances that presented. Instead, he was really incredibly courteous and present with her. And he'd listen to the details of her difficult life and did what he could to ease her burden. So this would happen once a month. And after he had been seeing her for some time, he became aware that she sometimes came to the hospital on the days that he wasn't there. His staff told him that. And the clinic nurses were puzzled by this because she seemed in a mysterious way to know it wasn't her day to see the doctor. So after they talked to her, they determined that she simply wanted to go to his consulting room. And once she was there, she didn't go in, but she would stand on the threshold and slowly and deliberately place her right foot inside the empty room, and then withdraw it again and again. And after a while, she'd be satisfied and she'd go home or go away. And Rachel writes, in the places where we are seen and heard are holy places. I think that's so beautiful. The places we are seen and heard are holy places. We each need those holy places. We need them with each other, and we need to create that kind of space of presence for our inner life. And this is what to me is so empowering about meditation. I sometimes think of it as a spiritual reparenting. That we all have some severed belonging, but we can heal that if we learn how to offer mindfulness and kindness inwardly to the parts of ourselves that feel rejected in different ways. This is what we call the 2 wings of the bird that free us, that we see what's going on inside us, and we offer kindness. We let it be there, and we offer kindness. For myself, right now I'm in a season where there's a lot of activity, a lot of things stirring, and it's several things that are really challenging and that actually bring up, a lot of, reaction in me. One is a dear person who is physically sick and can bring up a real sense of powerlessness. I can't help him, and upset. And then I'm part of several organizations, nonprofits, where there's different conflicts and misunderstandings and so on, and mistrust. And this stuff happens in spiritual groups too, and that can stir up things. So what I find is so powerful, and this is everything to do with this self-nurturing with these two wings, is that when something comes up, whether it's that powerlessness or a sense of impatience or anger or hurt or whatever it is, I start by just noticing it and saying, this belongs. And what I mean by that is this is part of what's going on. It's like a wave in the ocean. It belongs too. Not to make some inner experience wrong, because we can't feel belonging to our world if we don't let the parts of ourselves belong. Does that make sense? We have to really open tenderly to the parts inside us and let them be there. No matter what they are, no matter if they're hate or shame, just to say, okay, this belongs, this is a wave in the ocean, because the suffering comes when we're identified with them. And in the moment that we say, oh, this wave belongs too, we become more ocean-like. We're not caught inside it. It can come and go. So over and over again, the message for me to my inner life is, oh, okay, this too. Sometimes you don't have to say the word, this belongs, this too. It's a great mantra if you want a very pithy little one, this too. And then in some way to offer a kindness. And in that, there's some enlargement of being so that it's still there maybe. There's still the impatience or the sorrow or whatever, but there's more space for it. It's like the difference between having dye released into a sink and having that same amount of dye released into a lake. In the moments that you say, oh, this too, and offer kindness, that nurturing, you become more lake-like. This is the potential of the two wings of mindfulness and compassion, that to heal that place of severed belonging. And the more we practice that, and we begin to trust our belonging, the more we start looking at the world and feel a trust for other beings, that there's friendliness in the world.